scene. But right now, I want to bring back my guest, Joseph Lowe, who is so gracious enough to stick by with us for our bonus coverage. Truly appreciate that, Joe. So I want to get your impression of the testimony there that we saw from Detective Arenstein. Again, I see where they're going with it. I see we clearly know that he told a couple of lies. But, you know, the lie itself, the fact that he said, you know, hey, I met her there by chance, when we know now he has admitted to saying that they set up the meeting so that they could, you know, be together. But the reason they told the lies is because they didn't want the family to know they were together so soon after Kathy Friday lost her husband and his wife went missing, the defendant's wife went missing. So it'd have to be this whole conniving situation, I would think, that he would have acted if he was conniving as they want us to believe he is, based on this lie, et cetera, et cetera. He would have acted more interested in finding her. That would have clearly have been part of his plan. But anyway, I want to get how you feel this testimony went and how it helps the prosecution.
Well, again, by pointing out the inconsistency, which they're calling a lie, it makes him look like he's trying to hide something, which means he must be trying to get away with something, which then means he must be feeling guilty. And guilty of what? It's pretty obvious, murder. So again, that's what they're using it for. Now, remember, it's not only the government's job or their sworn duty to prove their accusation, but they also have to disprove any other reasonable possible explanation. Now, to say that some aliens came down and killed her, that clearly is not reasonable. But here is another reasonable explanation as to what's going on. You heard that he had this relationship with her, not as heated as it gotten, but been connected with her for about 2 decades, 20 years, old girlfriend, so to speak. Kind of a love interest that never turned out. Now she is something different because of circumstance. Clearly, at this timing, he realizes that that would look bad and would cause people in the family, the kids, so to speak, a lot of pain to hear this. Her mom has gone missing or is presumably dead. And now you're with another woman. And remember, these aren't just kids of hers. He raised them. So to not want to fully disclose what's really his private life, to some degree, is also compassionate, given what those kids are going through. So there's another reasonable explanation as to why he's not offering it, because he doesn't see any relevance, because he didn't kill her. And so that's the part he's not doing a good job communicating to the police. And that is a reasonable explanation. And unless the government can prove that it's not what was going on there, they lose, because it's their duty to prove that, not just accuse it.
Yeah, hopefully the defense will point that out. And they also, you have the suicide note of Kathy Friday, who basically says, look, this is the reason. You would think that that's pretty compelling, where someone who's about to commit suicide is writing a note wanting to get everything off their chest. She says, look, this is the reason, because I didn't want people to think that I was being disrespectful to the man that I loved and who died recently. So you have that. But let me ask you this question, because this is the thing that has me sort of perplexed about this case. If in fact you believe that he had something to do with it, and you know, it's not hard, it's not a far leap to say if this body can't be found anywhere, maybe he did something with it. But there's no proof of what happened to the victim in this case. Maybe she committed suicide. Maybe she fell and hurt her head. Maybe he choked her. I don't know. But without proof of what actually happened to her, can this jury find a way to convicting him of first-degree murder, even if they think that he clearly had something to do with getting rid of the body?
Yes, they certainly can. And they can, get first-degree murder on, which is what they're asking for. So I agree with you that it doesn't seem like they should be able to, or that they should be able to charge it. But remember, under the law, there's several different kinds of evidence, one of which everyone's heard of before, called circumstantial evidence. And that, simply put, means that it's evidence that isn't a direct connection, like a videotape, but it's evidence that requires you to make an insinuation or an inference, or what I call a bit of a guess. And their position is, if I pile up enough circumstantial evidence or guess evidence, that you'll finally just say, you know what, that's too many coincidences, I'm going to go with it. And it works all of the time. They convict people of that every day of the week. But keep in mind, just in the last 20 years, they have now proven through objective evidence that over 198 people have been wrongfully convicted of murder
Joe,
through the advances
I'm
of
sorry, I'm
DNA.
going to have to cut you off because we're coming up to the top of the hour. I do absolutely have to take a break. I want to thank you
No
again
problem.
for sticking around. Love it. Just love talking to you. You're fantastic. Right now, we are going to take a break. Now, coming up next, It Takes a Killer. And then at 8 p.m.,